Hey, welcome, boys
What
and
is up,
girls.
boys
This
and
is
girls?
episode 12 of the Chaingang podcast. Fuck you, Justin. You do that shit every week. But boys, we unfortunately are missing Ryan this week. As when we go home for break, it seems like always something comes up and he just can't do the podcast. So I don't know what's up with him, but we will miss him this week. But Stat Boy will kind of replace him in game picks and everything like that. But Justin, I feel like before we start, I kind of have to give you props. Last week, Justin picked the Texans to beat the Titans, and we all looked at him like, oh, just another Justin pick. It's just what he does. Like, it seems like you have to have one of those a week. But this is the first week that one of those like actually kind of paid off. So, props to you, buddy.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, it helped you more than you think at the end. So we'll find out how much it helped Justin in the when we go over the records this week. But starting, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. The Browns looked abysmal against the Lions, so everyone's talking about Baker Mayfield and his future with the Browns. So we got to go over that and talk about if it's time for the Browns to move on from Baker. We got two new segments today. They're pretty basic. It's just fact or fiction, where I say just a statement and you guys say fact or fiction, and we can talk about it for a little bit. And then we also got would you rather. And most of the time, what I'm going to do is either I'm going to put you in a situation where you can be one of two teams, and then, you can pick which one, or you can have one of two players like right now on your team. So talk about that. As usual, we got our controversial calls, and I'm kind of sad Ryan's not on this week to talk about this one, but we're going to talk about if the Eagles are dark horse contenders. I kind of mentioned it last week, and I feel like they actually played pretty well against the Saints. So we got to talk about that. But first, like we always do, we got our headlines of the week. And our first headline, boys, it's a pretty impressive one. Jonathan Taylor scored 5 touchdowns against the Bills. He ran for 185 yards on 32 carries against the number 1 overall defense. And the Colts ended up crushing the Bills and winning that game like 41-15. So it was pretty crazy. I don't know how he did that against the number 1 defense.
No idea.
He's just continuing to dominate the league right now. I think he has like at least 100 rushing yards in the last like 6 or 7 games. He's really going off.
Yeah, I mean, he's averaging like 5.8 yards per carry, just an insane stat for a pretty young back in the league. You got to love him.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I could give props to his offensive line, but I mean, obviously, they helped him out a lot with this, but at a certain point, you can't even say that it's just because he has a good offensive line. Like, no one has a good offensive line and keeps putting up these kind of numbers. So props to Jonathan Taylor.
When's the last time you heard of a running back scoring 5 touchdowns in a game? You probably heard of a quarterback, throwing 5, but never have I heard of a running back going for 5 touchdowns. That's pretty crazy.
Alvin Kamara last year.
Alvin Kamara
yeah, he did do it last year in like the fantasy playoffs, and that was like a whole thing. But you're right on that one, though. This doesn't always happen. So.
Yeah, and his O lines had a lot of people in and out with injuries this year, and he still produced. So big ups to JJ. Our next headline is this week: 6 different games have come down to a last drive to win the game, which is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was such an exciting week of football. One of those games, the Steelers versus the Chargers Sunday night, that was one of the best Sunday night comebacks or almost comebacks ever. I was about to go to bed and turn off the TV, but somehow our defense just woke up all of a sudden and started making plays. We had that blocked punt, and then Cam Hayward, the ball deflected off his head and somehow went like 50 feet up in the air. It was like God wanted us to win that game. But then we just lost to a wide open, like 50-yard touchdown.
Mike Williams.
It was one of the worst ways to go, honestly. It was painful. It was very painful. Like honestly, Mika not being there wasn't a huge impact until that play. That play, all Steelers fans were like, Mika wouldn't have let that happen.
Probably.
So it was very frustrating. But our last headline of the week we got is surprisingly, Colt McCoy destroys the Seahawks. He put up 328 yards on 35 of 44 pass attempts, and he threw 2 touchdowns. And the Cardinals beat the Seahawks 23-13. I thought this was the week that Russell Wilson would kind of come back. You know, it kind of seemed like it. He was at home facing a backup quarterback. I don't know what happened though. Colt McCoy looked like Kyler Murray in the fact that just in the passing game in general. Like Zach Ertz also went off, so you know I guess that's the new best duo on the Cardinals is Colt McCoy and Zach Ertz. But I don't know where this came from. I mean, it's not like he played that bad again, you know, in his previous games, but like not this good. He's not
Great
this
coaching,
good.
dude. It's great coaching. And I don't think Colt McCoy with Kyler Murray out has lost a game yet.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. And that's insane to think because I immediately thought that the Cardinals would kind of drop a little bit and at least lose a couple. But Colt McCoy's holding down the fort. You got to give props to him. So
Hook 'em, baby.
yeah, fuck you. Always horns down. But those are kind of our headlines for the week. It was kind of a crazy week as it is usually. But we're gonna give our Chaingang players of the week. And guys, obviously, I think we can all agree that like Jonathan Taylor was probably the universal one.
Yeah.
But here at the Chaingang podcast, we don't like to go with the obvious. Okay, we like to mix it up. We like to choose other guys. So my other guy this week is Justin Jefferson.
Man,
Okay, this man put up 8 receptions, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Packers, and he was one of the big reasons why the Vikings upset the Packers this weekend. They were just playing man coverage against him. Dude was just beating every guy that was thrown at him. Kirk Cousins looked great. Justin Jefferson looked even better. Props to Justin Jefferson for tearing up the Packers defense.
All right, for mine, I'm doing Elijah Moore from the Jets. Guy who just absolutely went off, destroyed the fucking Dolphins. I mean, destroyed their secondary, but 8 receptions for 140 yards, 17 and a half average reception and a touchdown is just absolutely insane to see from someone who coming into the season was supposed to be a 4th stringer, rookie wide receiver. You see a lot of wide receivers struggle coming in their first year. And this has been a guy who, depending on the game, has just absolutely shown through. And last week he did just that. Just absolutely insane game.
Dude, that's a great point of him. Like he was supposed to be like, a 3rd, 4th receiver. But, I mean, with Corey Davis out, he's looking like the number 1 receiver on this team. And he might even be the number 1 receiver when Corey Davis comes back.
Yeah, honestly, the Jets draft class this year, besides Zach Wilson, has been phenomenal.
Yeah, dude, Elijah Vera Tucker's been solid. Michael Carter's been surprisingly great. Dude, I totally agree. That's a great.
And another thing to mention, I mean, he's had a lot of quarterback shifts, a lot of injuries, a lot of different quarterbacks.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is Joe
true.
Flacco throwing him the ball.
Yeah.
Like this.
So, I mean, good on him. He's doing the best with what he has. So that's my player of the week, guys.
All right, guys. My player of the week is Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
He had an amazing game. He had 50 yards on the grounds. He had another 60-some yards through the air and 2 touchdowns running and 2 touchdowns throwing. So that was a great performance by him.
Dude, I always forget Austin Eckler's a person.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the most, I don't even know if it's underrated running backs, just forgotten running backs in the league. Like, he's so good, but no one ever consider, when you talk about the best running backs, his name never comes up because you just kind of, lose track of them. But all right, those are our Chaingang players of the week. I think, there were so many players that just absolutely went off this week. So we had so many guys to pick from. But I like the choices we made. Speaking of on the contrary to good choices, some people make bad choices. And one of those could be the Browns deciding to stick with Baker Mayfield. Guys, Baker Mayfield did not look good against the Lions. This past Sunday, they barely beat them. They beat them 13-10, and he just looked terrible. And he's been struggling lately. So my question to you guys, is it time for the Browns to move on from Baker Mayfield?
Absolutely.
I think this is a difficult one. I think this is a difficult one because I like Baker. I think he's a talented quarterback, and I think he's been talented on the Browns. Talented enough. I think he's an above average starting caliber quarterback. And I think he's been good for the Browns every year except for this year. So I don't know what's going on with their game plans this year. I've liked him in the previous years. This is his fourth year, I think? Fourth year? So
I think it's third or fourth, probably fourth.
I think it's his fourth. He was drafted in a minute. And I've liked him up until this year, and this back half especially he's been really struggling. I mean, you saw they got blown up by the Patriots, almost lose to the Lions. And I'm not sure what's going on. He just hasn't been able to, read the field, a lot of turnovers. And if this is his fourth year and he's coming up on a contract year potentially, I don't know if you resign him.
Well, I was going to say he is coming up on a contract year, and I think that's why it's such, a debatable question right now, is if the Browns give him the money or not. If they give him a contract, they're putting their faith in him. But I don't know. Like you said, Justin, it's such a hard question because he has been dealing with injuries this year. I'll give him that, and I think that's where a lot of people that are in favor of them keeping Baker Mayfield have kind of tried to, make that argument that, it's okay. Like, he's fine. He just needs to get healthy. But honestly, like, if his injuries are that bad that they're affecting his play, he needs to be benched. They're not even benched. He just needs to sit a couple weeks. He's not going through minor injuries, okay? He has a torn labium and a fractured bone in his left shoulder. I mean, I know obviously that is not his throwing shoulder, because if it was, he couldn't play. But, I mean, still, that still has a lot of effect when you're throwing. And he's now dealing with bone bruises in his foot. And he said, he said, "This is probably the most beat up I've ever been in my career." So, dude's sore as fuck. He's injured. He just doesn't look good. They gotta sit him for a couple weeks. Not even because of how bad he's been playing, but just to get him to heal.
And looking at it from a team point of view, I feel like Baker's always been a very cocky quarterback, very, this is my team quarterback. And I feel like he's going to want a lot of money, and probably more than the Browns are going to be willing to pay him. And so I'm curious how it plays out later this year, because I don't know if the Browns are going to pay him. I think the Browns are dysfunctional enough because I don't think they really have a backup plan. They're not going to have a low enough draft pick to get a decent quarterback. I don't know if they want to let him walk. And I also don't know who else would pick him up. I think he could be okay in Minnesota. But, again, I don't know who's going to pay him the money he wants.
Well, honestly, if I'm the Browns, I'm not making a decision until I see him play fully healthy, honestly. Absolutely. Because he's just not right now. But, he got booed at home against the Lions. That, I don't know if that isn't a low point of your career. I don't know what is. And he kind of, I don't really like the way how, he dealt with that, with the booing. He's like, oh, those are just the fans that, like, I don't know, like, they'll cheer, like, once we, just put up points. And I was like, well, like, obviously. But he basically said he doesn't care that they're booing, which I think it's, okay to make it seem that, like, it doesn't affect you. But honestly, it probably should. Like, when you look at the reaction of Zach Wilson getting booed and Baker Mayfield getting booed, Justin, I know you hate Zach Wilson, but he took responsibility there. He said, I should be playing better, and he deserved to get booed. And Baker's just like, nah, man, like, it doesn't matter. I don't care.
Well, you also have to think Cleveland has one of the most toxic fan bases in sports, especially for the Browns, because they've been so bad for so long. And the second they mess up, they're very quick to be like, fuck that, we need a quarterback. They went on that string of like 12 quarterbacks in 8 years or something. It's got to be hard playing for them. And it's an even more dysfunctional organization. So I can't imagine what Baker's gone through off the field with dealing with that. So it's got to be hard to motivate yourself to want to do good. I don't know. It's got to be hard being on the Browns.
I feel that, but I don't even know if it's that. I think it's not like a motivational problem because I will give him credit. Baker's one of the most competitive, driven players I think in the NFL. At least when it comes to quarterbacks, he is. He has the energy, he has the drive to do it. But I don't know. I don't think this is kind of coming out of nowhere. I think this has kind of been building up over time, and it's just another year where Baker's just average. I honestly think he's just an average quarterback now. He's just not, watching him play, he's just not great at decision making. He's just not making the right throws. He has the talent and the arm to do it, but it just doesn't look like he's making the right calls.
Yeah. Maybe a new team with a better quarterbacks coach, better offensive coordinator would be good for his career. But again, we'll see. We got to see how he plays healthy again. So
yeah. Well, and it's like for me, it's like the Browns are 1-5 this year against teams over 500. Okay, like even though the Browns have been dealing with injuries this year, you got to have a better record than that if you want to make the playoffs. So the Brown, I look at that as the Browns GM and I say this is a quarterback that can't win us big games. Okay, he can't challenge big defenses. But another thing is like their offense is run based, so they don't necessarily need a top tier quarterback to win. I think if Baker Mayfield is healthy and he has at least a couple options and he gets a little bit better, I think honestly they could be a strong contender in the playoffs because they have the offensive line for it. They have the running backs. I mean, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are a great duo. Their defense is solid. It's not like, he's getting held back by the defense. And I feel like at this point, they've given him all of the weapons that he needs. It's just, he hasn't really performed, So,
I agree.
Yeah, we'll see if the Browns re-sign him. I don't really know. Honestly, I think that's one of the most debatable things right now. But our next segment is kind of a new one. It's called Fact or Fiction. Guys, I'm going to throw a statement at you. Maybe kind of controversial, I don't know, but you have to say if you think that is a fact or if you think it's fiction, being like, Dylan, hey, that's bullshit. I don't even know why you even asked me that. But so we're going to start it up. I got 4 things. My first one, Micah Parsons is a top 5 edge rusher in the league right now. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Fiction.
I'm going to say fact.
You say facts. Okay.
I'm going to say fact.
I think he's climbing up there. I think he's been a very productive rookie. I think he's going to be a very great edge rusher in this league, but top 5 right now, I don't know about that. Top 5, there's some very elite company that I just don't think Micah Parsons is hanging with yet.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, at least in the last couple of games, he's looking like a top 5 edge rusher for sure. So I think of right now, based on his performance, I think he's there.
He's having a phenomenal rookie year. I think he's probably the best defensive rookie in the class.
Oh, yeah.
But top 5 in the league, I just don't see it yet.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Dude, he's
Next
only a rookie.
Up. That's true. I think if you guys don't consider him top 5 now, I think honestly by next year or even the year after, he has to be in that category.
He has the potential, but he's just a rookie
right and improving. I'd say absolutely.
Okay. Next one we got up, and this might be a unanimous one. The Russell Wilson Seahawks era is over. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
I agree. It's a fact. Russell Wilson is turning into second half Russell Wilson as he usually does. And the Seahawks are now 3-7. His contract's expiring. The defense is garbage. I don't see how he stays, honestly.
No.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been over it's been over for a little while. I think there was a little more hope drafting DK. They have Chris Carson. They had some decent weapons, and people were hoping they could make a push. They've been in the playoffs the last couple of years, but I don't think they've been really contending for a couple of years now.
Yeah, they just haven't had the defense. They don't have a playoff defense to make it as far as they need to. So, all right, our next one we got up, and this is kind of a personal one for me, so this might have been why I put this one in. but Taysom Hill should be the starting quarterback right now for the Saints. Fact or fiction?
Right now, fact. I say fact.
Fact.
I'm going to agree. I say it's a fact. I think Trevor Siemian, I'll give him credit. He beat the Bucs somehow, coming into that game after Jameis Winston tore his ACL. But he hasn't been great, since taking over for Jameis Winston. And I'm a little confused why he took over in the first place because, in the beginning of the year, it was Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill who was going to get the starting quarterback role. So naturally, you would think if one of them went out, the other one would go in. And I understand the fact of you can still use Taysom Hill as a tight end or another quarterback for trick plays or whatever. But I feel like he's more valuable at quarterback at this point.
Agreed. Look, I've been very confused by Taysom Hill's career in general. I mean, he came into the league a little bit later. I think he was 26 or something. He's been great as kind of their Swiss Army knife. And, I mean, he's getting paid like a quarterback. I think he's on a $17 million contract.
I was going to say, he just signed an extension.
Yeah. I'm not even going to lie. Cool. I think it was last offseason he signed that extension, and I really wanted him to come to the Patriots. I'm glad he didn't, but I was really hoping he came to the Patriots. And I'm confused. They pay him like they want him there, but then they never really fully utilize him. He's used like a Swiss Army knife, but then he's not used at a high rate. He's not playing quarterback. I don't know what the Saints are doing with him. If they intend to play with him or pay him and then not play with him. It's just very confusing.
Yeah, I don't think the Saints know either because I'm pretty sure in his extension, it's such a wide range because it's based on what position he plays.
Yeah.
So I don't think they know either, but I
think he's a talented quarterback.
Oh, 100%.
Talented enough to be starting for that team.
Yes, I agree. He's talented enough to be playing over Trevor Siemian. I 100% agree. So the last one we got up, this might be a very vocal one, but the Patriots right now are the best team in the AFC. Fact or fiction?
Best team in the entire AFC.
Best team.
You know what? I'm going to say fact. I think fact.
I think they're contending, so I'm going to have to go with fact too.
Mm-hmm. Just the AFC is so sparse right now. The Bills, do you really believe in them anymore to be number one in the AFC?
Mm-hmm.
After losing to the Jags and the Texans? No.
Yeah,
I don't think they're a number one seed anymore. There's
so many teams that are being so finicky in the AFC. I mean, the Chiefs, we've been talking about them all year. You never know what's going on with them. The Titans have been finicky before all their injuries, and now 2 or 3 of their main weapons are out. I mean, it's just you never know. And I think now that the Patriots are kind of finding their footing, they're playing consistently. Their defense has been fantastic. Matt Judon, I think, has 10.5 sacks. Just absolutely amazing. Kyle Van Noy is great in zone. And Christian Barmore has been fantastic on the pass rush. Sorry, I'm getting a little carried away. This is my bread and butter. But
no, I know. That's why I said it was going to be vocal. I knew this one was going to be,
I'm very excited about it. I think at the very least they're competing to be best in the AFC right now. And with a year where everyone's playing kind of sporadically, they have a chance to take that. And that's what I'm really excited for in the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say fiction, but I will agree with you. They are definitely in that realm. They are they are the second best team in my opinion right now. From their look, their defense looks amazing. Like you said, Matt Judon has been impressive. And contrary to what we said before, J.C. Jackson low-key is kind of a number one cornerback now. I can't even lie about that. He's actually been kind of locking guys up. Having Devin McCourty back, I think, is huge for them. He's been good, but I'm going to say that I think the Chiefs are still the best team solely based on the fact that their offense, I think, looks pretty good now. And with Clyde Edwards-Helaire back, I think they're going to get that run game going. And their defense isn't looking as bad as they were in the beginning of the season. Like we said before, having Chris Jones back has been huge for them, and he is going to be hell for AFC offenses. And the Patriots offense is good, don't get me wrong, but I just think that the Chiefs defense is better than the Pats offense, if that makes sense. Obviously, the Pats got a dominant defense. The Chiefs got a dominant offense. But I think the Chiefs' defense is just a little bit over the Pats' offense.
I think the Chiefs' pass rush has been stepping it up lately, and I think that's a big part of why they've been getting back in the games. Their secondary still isn't very good. Their linebacker core is all right. Who is it? Is it Kenneth Murray?
He's on the Chargers, but their linebacking core is dog water. But their secondary is actually kind of nice. Like it's not great. It's not great, but it's okay.
I think people lose sight of the Patriots' offense. They've never been a flashy offense, especially with a rookie quarterback. But I think over the last couple of games, they've become very consistent, very run first, short pass offense, and it's really working out for them. So I don't know. It's close for me. I think it can go either way, but as a Patriots fan, I'll say they're the best.
All right, guys. Well, that was Fact or Fiction. I hope you guys like that new segment. Just kind of changing it up a little bit. It definitely raises some controversy. I think.
All right, Dylan has so graciously accepted my offer to bring in this new topic. Thank you, Dylan, for letting me do this. The Eagles, are they dark horse contenders, guys?
No.
Let's hear your thoughts.
Fiction.
Fiction? Well, this isn't the same. This isn't in the Fact or Fiction. This is completely different.
No. I see because it says dark horse. I'm gonna have to agree with it. I think they are.
By definition, dark horse is they are dark horse, but like, are they contenders?
Look, I don't understand this team. Okay, every time I watch them, it just hurts my brain because I just don't understand how they're good. Honestly, I don't. Like they somehow all of a sudden. I mean, I knew they ran the ball a lot, but now they're like the second in the league in rushing yards per game, even above the Ravens. The Ravens, the team with Lamar Jackson. So it amazes me. I didn't think their defense was that good. Darius Slay has been amazing this year, and their pass rush has actually been kind of good. Their run defense has been okay. I don't understand this team. I really don't. But I think they are dark horse contenders.
I don't have a lot of faith in them. I think they have some solid pieces that really help the team hang on for dear life. But for the most part, there's just no depth there. And through the regular season, I think that'll cut it. At least to the point where maybe we have to have this conversation of if they're dark horses or not. But I don't see it happening. I think they could turn it around by starting Gardner Minshew, but I don't even know if they need to. They don't need to turn it around. I mean, they already got it turned around. They're not turned around. They're below 500. Well, I mean they've won 3 of their last 4. Jalen Hurts is not fucking the bed as much, and the Eagles have the easiest remaining schedule I think of anybody. And that's why I think they got a solid chance to, actually make it. But I agree with you. Like, I don't see them as Super Bowl or whatever contenders. I think they're going to lose in the first round. I don't think they have a good enough defense. I just don't think Jalen Hurts. He doesn't have the playoff experience. That offense is okay, but it's not – neither side of the ball they have playoff, kind of level offense or defenses. So – I agree with you. I don't think they're going to make it far at all, but I think they might actually make the wild card. I had to go back and look at their last 4 games, and the only decent team I think they've played, in my opinion, is the Chargers, who they lost to. Well, it was a close game, but they played the Lions, who I remember taking that as an upset for some reason. Because you said, no, quote, that is the best chance the Lions have of winning a game this year, and I'm pretty sure it was one of their worst losses this year. Yeah, 44-6. I'm looking at the score right now. The Broncos, I've been kind of a believer in, but I think that's just because they cock-teased me in the beginning of the season. You guys haven't been big believers in them, and I don't see them being able to hold it up. I'm not very impressed by anyone on their team. Well, I won't say that. I am impressed by some players on their team, but just not them as a team as a whole. Right. I would say usually that, this team isn't that great. Like, their record makes them look better than they are.
They're only beating teams like the Lions and the Saints and kind of stuff like that. But even against the good teams they've played, I mean, they've been close games. They only lost to the Bucks by 6. They only lost to the Chargers by 3. And I mean, the Chiefs was 12, but I'm pretty sure that last touchdown was garbage time. I don't really remember.
It wasn't close for the Chiefs. It wasn't close.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they can kind of contest with those big boy teams, and I don't know. And like the remaining schedule, okay, I know like we know it's the easiest, but I just want like everyone to know how easy it actually is. Okay, they play the Giants in New York. Then they play the Jets. Then they have a bye week. Then they play the football team, the Giants, the football team. And then they play the Cowboys at home week 18, which honestly it could be for the division. It honestly could be if the Cowboys keep playing like they did last week. But I mean, we got to hear Stat Boy's opinion on this because I feel like this topic was solely based around him.
I'll keep it really short. So Jalen Hurts, this is his rookie season 2.0. He's still learning. Last game, he did not throw well. He was pretty bad, in my opinion. He just ran the ball. You don't want to see that in rookie quarterback. He does not know how to slide, so he still has to learn how to do that. And also on the offense, our play calling finally got it through their heads that we have to run the ball and not just Jalen Hurts. So we're finally running the ball like we have to. And Boston Scott and Jordan Howard have been a great duo that have been able to do things well. And Miles Sanders has been out. That makes it so much easier because he can't screw things up. And then on the flip side, the defense, our secondary, has been amazing for some reason. I can't remember the last time we've had a good secondary. So that's been our saving grace most of the time. They've been getting so many picks and turnovers. Our front guys who have been really reliable in years past have not. They have not been doing well. And that's just in my opinion. So you can't ignore the Cowboys right now. They are, I think they're pretty legit with their offense. They are the best team in the NFC East. There's very low chance that we are able to beat them and get to the playoffs. I think they'll get it together and do well. The only way we get to the playoffs is a wild card. And if we do get in the wild card, who are we going to face? We're going to face like Tampa Bay or some other, number one team. And it's just not going to be good. Jalen Hurts has no playoff time at all. So this season, try our best to get the wild card. Try our best to get Jalen Hurts in the offseason reps. And then just, draft well next season. That's best chance that we can have this season. We are not contenders. We technically are dark horse contenders, but contenders, absolutely not. We are not contenders at all.
Yeah, I think we can all agree the Eagles have honestly a decent chance of making the playoffs. Not great, but it's not that bad. So that kind of answers, the topic question. So enough about the Eagles this week. We got another new topic. Kind of similar to Fact or Fiction, but kind of not. It's Would You Rather. Everyone knows, Would You Rather. So I'm going to pose a Would You Rather question, and you guys have to obviously pick which option, you would rather want. So our first one is, okay, all right, guys. So would you rather be the Titans and be in, their situation right now, or would you rather be the Bills? Both playoff contenders for sure. But, they both got separate problems. So which one would you rather be right now?
The Titans are not playoff contenders. Let me tell you. And we can get in that in a minute. But the Titans are not playoff contenders. But I would rather be the Bills.
Right. Same. Bills.
Man, I mean, I'm only saying that I would rather be the Bills because, the Titans just have injury issues, I think.
Yeah.
I think the Titans are actual contenders, with everyone healthy. I mean, except Derrick Henry, which actually he might be able to make it back for the playoffs. I actually just saw that today. So
really,
if you're the Titans, you might have him back. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm changing my answer. I'd rather be the Titans right now. Okay.
That does not change my answer, Dylan. My answer is the Bills.
I know that doesn't change your guys', but I'd rather
the Bills
be the Titans.
they have been bad, but they have a chip on their shoulder. They've got all the pieces. if they get their shit together, they can do well.
Look, the Titans.
No.
The Titans are a Derrick Henry team. I've talked about this many times. The Titans are Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is the Titans. Without Derrick Henry, they are not a playoff team. If you started this season and they didn't have Derrick Henry, I don't think any of us would be talking about them as a playoff team. I don't think, like I said, I've said before, Ryan Tannehill is an above-average quarterback. Some games he plays like a very high-level quarterback, but he is an aging, above-average quarterback, in my opinion. And they have an okay receiving core. Their pass rush is okay. Their secondary isn't anything spectacular. I guess a little less than the back half of a season now without Derrick Henry. Their O-line, we've talked about it many times, it's just not good. When people look at the Titans, they're like, oh my, I can't believe Derrick Henry could do that with that O-line. Without Derrick Henry, they are not a playoff team. And I strongly believe that. And I think they're going to struggle a lot over the next couple of games. And I mean, shit, they lost to the Texans last week.
Yeah, look,
the Bills. I still think are in contention for the playoffs. I think they're beating themselves more than the other team is. I think they have problems that can be corrected by their organization. I don't think the Titans can do much other than get Derrick Henry back.
Guys, I think you're forgetting that this team has beaten the Rams without Derrick Henry. They won that game.
Look, I'm not saying flukes don't happen, but the Jets beat them with Derrick Henry.
Okay, but both of their two receivers are out. Every team has an off week, okay?
That's what I'm saying. And you caught the Rams on an off week.
Okay, the Titans have really only lost – okay, they've had 2 fluke games where they lost to the Jets and the Texans.
Are they flukes if it's happened twice?
I mean, okay, look, Ryan Tannehill threw 4 interceptions last week. They still only lost by 9. Okay, again, I just think that, Tannehill's obviously not going to have that kind of game every game, but they have a pretty easy schedule for the rest of the time. Okay, Derrick Henry's supposed to come back. A.J. Brown has been dealing with injuries. Julio's going to be out for a couple of weeks, but he's going to be back. And I think Ryan Tannehill is actually kind of solid in the playoffs. So, and the Bills, they just got fucked by the Colts. I mean, they might lose out that division. Okay, at least the Titans are definitely going to get theirs. The Colts might beat out the Bills for their division. The Bills end up in a wild card spot. Probably have to either face the Patriots or the Chiefs in the first round.
Let's see,
I don't know if they win. I don't know.
They have 6 games. They have 6 games left, and I'd say they probably lose 3 of them, if not more. In my opinion, I'd say they play the Patriots. I have the Patriots winning. Maybe I'm biased, but I think the Patriots have just been playing better. And they play the Steelers. I think I'd take the Steelers. 49ers, I don't know. Dolphins, I'd say they lose one of those games. I don't think they win both of those games. I don't think the Texans are going to beat them again. I don't think the Jags are going to beat them. But I think they're going to struggle. Even if it is an easy schedule through the rest of the season, I don't think they're going to play very well, especially not without Derrick Henry.
Okay. Well, we'll see how both these teams do. I'm kind of interested now. Okay. But anyway, our next would you rather is, would you rather right now have Baker Mayfield or Derek Carr? So if you're the Raiders or the Browns, if you got your choice between those 2 quarterbacks, which one are you taking?
I'm taking Derek Carr.
I'd have to agree. I'm also taking Derek Carr.
I can't believe in either of them. They're not, they've not been consistent.
That's why I put this would you rather question up. I feel like they're both struggling right now.
His injuries are too much. Derek Carr is just bad. So
I think
Derek Carr.
Baker's bad days are worse than Derek Carr's bad days. And we saw at the beginning of the season where his good days are spectacular to the point where people think he's an elite quarterback. Not me personally, but some people. Some uneducated people would think that.
He's up there, man.
No, but I do think when he is having a good season, good game, I think he is far above an above-average quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. In some games, a great quarterback. I don't think Baker has that as frequently as he does. And even though they both struggle with consistency issues, I think I'd say Derek Carr is at least a little bit more consistent than Baker Mayfield is.
Agree. But that is would you rather. Guys, let me know in the comments if you like that, kind of segment. But the last two segments we got are just our, normal, regular ones. So first up, we got our controversial calls. And this week, the first one we're going to go over is a Clyde Edwards-Helaire taunting call after he scored a touchdown. So great fake out by Mahomes. Okay, yeah, he scores. Looking at that, I don't know where the taunting call actually is.
It was the point. When he walked into the end zone, he saw the Cowboys player and pointed at him. That was it. Watch right here.
Oh, right there.
See it. He points at him, says, "You're too slow." That was the taunting.
Wow.
There was the flag.
Wow. The taunting calls just keep getting worse and worse every week. That was nothing. Why?
See, the rule for taunting, Dylan, was the NFL sent a video to every team showing what a taunting call would have been. And it was, I can't remember the exact guys behind it, but there was a guy in the end zone getting tackled, and they both stood up, got in each other's faces, flexed in each other's faces, and they just made it harder to start the next play. The sportsmanship was really bad. They were not being good to each other, and it was just after the play going on and on, just in each other's faces, drawing at each other. It was just for like a really long time.
You know what? Fuck
it was
that.
Not good.
Fuck the whole taunting call.
Yeah,
it's
go in on
so
it.
goddamn stupid. Yeah. I don't know why the board of the NFL came up with these rules, especially over the last year, but it's such bullshit.
It is.
Look, one, as a player, if I score on 11 elite athletes, I should get to fucking disrespect them. I should be allowed to rub it in a little bit. And as a fan, everybody loves that. You always hear announcers are like, "Oh, you hate to see this in a game. You hate to see players fighting or be chippy." Fuck that. That's the favorite part. That's what everyone loves about football. That is literally the best part. We can come out and say America has the most savage sport in the world, and it's fucking football. And they're trying to take it away, and it's horseshit. Fuck every taunting call that's been made this season.
Amen to that. Look, no. Look, I want to stop where I want to say something first. Amen to what Justin just said, because if I am like, let's say, I'm like a third string running back on a playoff team, okay, and we're playing a really good team, and I score like a game-deciding touchdown, I want to teabag the fuck out of the defenders on the team, okay? I want to flex on them so hard. I want to do any shit that I want to do, but no. It's going to be called back, and I'm never going to play another snap because I'm a fucking idiot for, like, kind of celebrating my touchdown. Which, that's the thing now, is I feel like this is also taking away from the great celebrations, is that, they could just call a taunting call or unsportsmanlike conduct or any of that garbage. So it's almost worse than, like, some of the penalties being called on the celebrations. Like, I don't even know. It's so frustrating.
Dylan, if I remember correctly, you went back and said you would teabag the F out of the opposing players. Dylan, this is not Halo, bro. This is actual sport. If you do that, you are going to die. The other team will kill you. There will be.
Dude, but my team will have my back. That's all I need.
Look at it like this. The adrenaline you feel in football, especially in the end zone, is insane. Like, these guys have to be so hyped up, so energized in that moment that those are just immediate reactions. Chances are they don't think about it 90% of the time. It just happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're punishing them for just having a knee-jerk reaction. This is shit they've done their whole life, and they've been allowed to do that. And now you're taking it away because some old guy says you shouldn't be allowed to do that. It's horse shit. Fuck the NFL for that.
I agree. But for this next one, this is like, I don't even know. I don't know exactly how this is a controversial call. Maybe it's that he wasn't kicked out of the game. I'm not really sure. But the next one we got up is Cam Hayward beating the fuck out of Justin Herbert. So we're going to take a look at it here as he chases him down Okay, on this play, makes a good tackle. Like for a defensive end to catch a quarterback, that's pretty impressive. But punches the wide receiver and then just kind of goes on his stomach. Just right there. Yeah. It was I mean, he got an unnecessary roughness call. But I guess the controversial thing is, should he have gotten worse? Should he have been ejected? You know what?
I think you can just classify that as unnecessary roughness. I don't think it was anything too crazy to where he needed to be kicked out of the game. Unnecessary roughness is probably enough for that. He just fell on his stomach. I mean, clearly it was intentional. He put his arms out and kind of like pushed into his stomach, but I don't think it's anything you need to be ejected out of. Again, the energy, the tempers are so high in these kind of games. That kind of shit happens. That's why these taunting calls are bullshit. But I don't have anything wrong with this call.
I think after the game, he gave a excuse that he had like lost his footing or something like that. So he had
Horseshit. He was on his
he
knees.
fell. There's no way that happened.
See,
he
I
did that intentionally.
I could have believed that if he would have just done that, but right before he fell on the quarterback, he pushed the receiver that was trying to get him off of Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
So and also the man just ran 50 yards. Okay, for a defensive end to do that, he is going to be dead tired. Like he needs a second or two to get up. So the receiver tried to like pull him up. So I think that was more about him being mad at the receiver than Justin Herbert, because Herbert, didn't really do anything. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think he should have been kicked out of the game or anything like that. I like the call of just unnecessary roughness. So
2 weeks ago, I believe we had one of our worst pick percentage against the spread guys. I think we did pretty bad. This week, we really turned it around. I think we did a lot better. We had a tie for second place. So once again, we have two big losers. The winner with a record of 11-4 is Justin. Justin has finally won 11-4.
Guys can't be here for this, but for the first time in Chaingang history, Justin has gotten a dub.
How much did I win by?
Well done.
One game.
Dylan and Ryan were 10-5.
One game. Because of the Texans. Because of the Texans.
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh. He can't win any other way. I just Dude, I just want the viewers to know Justin sent us a screenshot of the Texans score and just said, I don't even know what you said. You're just like, or whatever. And you just sent it in, and I thought, no way that the Texans actually beat the Titans at home. But God was like, hey, Justin needs a dub this week, so I guess we're just going to give it to him. So props to Justin. I guess he gets to give Ryan and I a punishment this week.
You guys aren't allowed to eat during Thanksgiving.
I lost because I picked the Raiders and the Titans because I'm a sane human being and thought the Titans would be a one-win Texans team, but I guess not. So what I'm learning from this is that I just make fuck picks now and I win. So yeah,
you just gotta fuck the bet on purpose.
I just gotta. That's fuck the bet on purpose.
You and Ryan are not allowed to eat during Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay, fuck off.
I'll be there to enforce. No. Allow me to think.
Justin.
Allow me to think. I will get back to you.
Okay. All right. So for the first time ever in Chaingang history, Justin wins, and we also have a TBD for the punishment. Yeah. So Staffboy, you want to introduce us into the games and who's on a bye and all that mumbo jumbo?
Yep. Okay. So teams on bye, Cardinals and Chiefs get a week off. We got some good Thanksgiving games. First one is going to be great, guys. Bears, Lions. Some injuries to the Bears are Akeem Hicks, Justin Fields are both out, will not play. Eddie Jackson is questionable, and Allen Robinson is doubtful. For the Lions, Michael Brockers is questionable. Trey Flowers is out. Jared Goff is questionable. He was limited in practice on Wednesday. So, what do we think?
I still think I'm going with the Bears, even though Fields is out.
Who are the teams? I was looking at punishments.
Bears,
damn it.
Lions.
Shit, dude. These are two dog water teams. No, give me the Lions.
The Lions. I will go with the Bears. I believe in the Bears. Raiders, Cowboys. Important notes, both teams have only one win in November. The Raiders are on a 3-game losing streak with an L. And the Raiders have not scored over 20 points since their bye week in week 8. So injuries to the Raiders include Richie Incognito is out. For the Cowboys, they are missing Amari Cooper, Randy Gregory, CD Lamb is questionable, DeMarcus Lawrence is questionable.
I like it. I don't know. Both these teams are struggling. It's in Dallas. It's on Thanksgiving Day. The only thing holding me back from just, automatically going with the Cowboys is that Amari Cooper's out and CeeDee Lamb also might be out. So I think that's going to be a bigger hit to this offense than, people think. I'm going to go with the Cowboys solely because the Raiders have been sucking so bad recently. Like Statboy said, they haven't scored over 20 points since their bye week, and they're going to have to score at least 20, I think, to beat the Cowboys. So give me the Cowboys this week. I think Zeke's going to have a great game, and I just don't see the Raiders score. Like, if they can't score over 20 points, I just don't see them winning this game.
Agreed. I'm going with the Cowboys too. I think rushing is going to be a key part of this game, especially with the wide receiver injuries. And the Raiders haven't been as consistent since the beginning of the season. I don't think they have a ton of weapons, and I think they're going to struggle to find usage downfield against the Cowboys, whose defense has been sporadic, but overall has played pretty good this season. Sorry, I dropped my phone. Dropped it again.
Dumbass.
It hurts me to say this, but I have to pick the Cowboys. I just can't.
You don't have to.
I can't trust the Raiders. I cannot trust them to win. So either the Cowboys lose and I'm happy, but I lose this pick, or Cowboys win and I'm happy I got the pick, but I'm also sad the Cowboys lose. So it's a lose-win, win-lose situation. I have to pick the Cowboys. Next up, Bills, Saints. Bills are going to be healthy. Saints will be without Alvin Kamara and then could potentially be without Teron Armstead and Mark Ingram.
I think this is an easy one. I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bills.
I also picked the Bills. I think they can turn it around against this bad Saints. 1 p.m. games. Steelers, Bengals. For the Steelers, Minka Fitzpatrick is out, along with potentially Big Ben, TJ Watt, and Joe Hayden. Bengals, Trey Waynes is out.
Give me the Steelers, baby.
I'm going to go with the Bengals.
I picked the Bengals.
Fuck you too.
Oh, great one. Texans, Jets. Jets, Texans. For the Jets, Mackie Becton is out along with Michael Carter. They could also be without Corey Davis and CJ Mosley. And for the Texans, Laramie Tunsil is expected to be back and ready to play. And Christian Kirksey is out. Tough decision. But
this is a terrible game. I think I'm going to have to go with the Texans. I think they just have better weapons. I think they're better coached, but that's not saying much compared to the Jets.
Yeah, I'm going with the Texans, and I would have been surprised if you didn't either, considering that you picked them last week to beat the Titans, and then this week you would even pick them to beat the Jets. Without arguably their best offensive weapon in Michael Carter.
I'm going to go with the Jets here. I think Elijah Moore can have another good game. I think Jets can pull it out. Give me the Jets.
Okay.
Bucks, Colts. The Bucks have number one run defense, and Jonathan Taylor is among the league's best rushers. So we have a clash of powers there. Colts have scored above 30 in 5 of the last 6. And the Bucks in away games only have 2 wins out of 5 away games. Injuries to the Bucks. Antonio Brown is questionable. He did not come to practice today. Mike Evans also did not practice. Chris Godwin is questionable. Ali Marpet is questionable. Vita Villa is questionable. And Devin White is questionable, who also did not practice. For the Colts, T.Y. Hilton is questionable. Darius Leonard is questionable. And Quentin Nelson is questionable.
I know the Colts are, kind of hot right now, and they're coming off a big divisional win against the Bills. But like Stepboy said, the Bucks have the number one run defense in the NFL right now. I know the Bucks have a good the Colts have a good offensive line. But I just don't see them being able to dominate the rush game like they have the last couple weeks, against the Bucks. So I'm taking the Bucks here. I think Brady's going to thrive against this defense. Not that the defense has been that bad, but just because it's Brady. And I just don't see Jonathan Taylor continuing his absolute tear he's been going on recently. So give me the Bucks this week.
Yeah, I think the Bucks have the second lowest yards per rush allowed in the league. I don't know if Stepboy said that. I was looking at punishments again, but I think Jonathan Taylor is going to have a much harder week this week, and I think overall the Bucks just have a better passing game. I think they have more weapons. Even with Mike Evans potentially being out, I think they're going to do just fine. And I think Brady is experienced enough to be able to pick apart a fairly young secondary.
Yeah, agreed.
My pick, I cannot bet against the Bucks. Just too good. With the great rush defense like they have against Jonathan Taylor, I don't foresee him having the best game. But he knows he was against number one defense last game, right? Against the those guys.
Good to Bills.
Yeah, the Bills. But I think the Bucks have a hard win, but I think they got it. Falcons, Jags. Falcons, Cordell Patterson is questionable and Calvin Ridley is out. For the Jags, Miles Jack is questionable, Shaquille Griffin is questionable, and James Robinson is questionable. Another good game.
Yeah. Give me the Jags.
I'm going to pick the Falcons.
Shit. I think I'm going to go with the Falcons.
Okay.
Panthers, Dolphins. Panthers, Sam Darnold is out. Cam Newton is in. For the Dolphins, Will Fuller is expected to make his return. Devontae Parker is also expected to return. And Byron Jones is questionable.
Go on, give me the Panthers.
Agreed. I'm going with the Panthers.
Me as well. Panthers. Titans, Patriots. For the Titans, A.J. Brown is questionable. Bud Dupree is out. Rashawn Evans is questionable. And Julio Jones is out. For the Patriots, Trent Brown is questionable. Damian Harris is questionable. Hunter Henry is questionable. Dante Hightower is questionable. Kyle Van Noy is questionable. And Jonnu Smith is questionable.
Patriots.
It's a lot of injuries for the Patriots.
A lot of questionables for the Patriots.
That's true, but it's a lot of key guys.
Patriots.
I think I have to go with the Patriots. They're hot right now.
I also choose the Patriots. They've been consistent. I think they got it.
Welcome to the dark side, boys.
There we go. Eagles, Giants. For the Eagles, Brandon Brooks is expected to make his return. Darius Slay is questionable, though. For the Giants, Saquon is questionable. Adoree Jackson is questionable. Kadarius Toney is questionable, and Sterling Shepard questionable.
Another terrible game, but I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles.
Yeah, give me the Eagles.
Go Birds, fly Eagles, fly. 4 o'clock games. Chargers, Broncos. Chargers could be without Asante Samuel potentially. Broncos, Bradley Chubb is going to make his return potentially. Bryce Callahan is out, and Kareem Jackson is doubtful.
Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, give me the Chargers.
I'll take the Chargers as well. Rams, Packers. Rams are 2-2 against teams above 500. Matthew Stafford has thrown 4 picks in the last 2 games, and both games the Rams have scored 20 points. In the 4 games that Devontae Adams has faced Jalen Ramsey, he has had at least 8 catches.
Oh, I want
Injuries
to
to the
hold on.
Rams.
Sorry, hold on. I also wanted to. Actually, fuck it. Never mind. I was gonna.
Oh,
also
come on,
throw
let's
in
do
there-
it.
Okay, I was also gonna say that Devontae Adams also has 4 touchdowns in those games.
Okay. I would say that. And also, Devontae Adams has had 4 touchdowns in those games against Jalen Ramsey. Injuries to the Rams include Leonard Floyd is questionable. For the Packers, Devontae Adams is questionable. Jair Alexander is out. David Bakhtiari is doubtful. Aaron Jones is questionable. And Aaron Rodgers is questionable. He has that fractured or broken toe, but he won't miss any game action. He showed his foot on the television when he was in his post-game presser, and it didn't look that bad, man. If you like feet, I think you'd be interested in checking out Aaron Rodgers.
All right. Well, I think Aaron Rodgers and his okay feet are going to lead this Packers team to a victory this week. Like Staffboy said, Matt Stafford's kind of been struggling the last couple games, and the Rams aren't amazing against teams above 500. So I like the Packers, especially with Devontae Adams' success against Jalen Ramsey. Seems like the only wide receiver in the league that can put up any good numbers against Ramsey. So I like how the Packers are playing. Give me the Packers this week.
I'm gonna agree with Dylan. Not that I don't think the Rams are great and that this is gonna be probably a pretty close game, but I just have a feeling that the Packers are gonna be able to take over. Aaron Rodgers has been zoned in for the last couple of weeks, and Devontae Adams has been going off.
Yep, I believe in the Packers. Devontae Adams had an amazing game last week along with Aaron Rodgers. I think they can keep it up, even though they are going against the elite Rams defense. But I don't see Matthew Stafford is doing as well, and I think that's the Achilles heel of this offense, this team right now. Matthew Stafford has not been the Matthew Stafford we thought he was. So give me the Packers.
Not a top 5 quarterback.
Vikings, Niners. Vikings, Michael Pierce is out, and for the 49ers, Earl Mitchell is questionable.
Man, this is a tough one. I think I'm going to go with the 49ers.
Give me the Vikings.
I also picked the Vikings.
Fuck you, Dylan.
Me.
All right, our Sunday night game, Browns, Ravens. Lamar has 5 picks and less than 270 passing yards in the last 4 games. And the last time they played the Browns, he had 4 rushing touchdowns, and the Ravens won 47-42. That game was in Cleveland, though. And the Browns fumbled 7 times and lost none of those fumbles, apparently. Both averaging above 150 rushing yards a game. The Browns are first in rushing yards per game, and the Ravens are third in rushing yards per game. Injuries to the Browns include Jack Conklin and Kareem Hunt. They can make their return. Clowney is questionable. Jarvis Landry is questionable. And Baker is questionable. The Ravens, Marquise Brown is questionable. And Calais Campbell is questionable.
Yeah, I think this is a good divisional game. It's going to be exciting to watch. But I'm taking the Ravens here. Even though they haven't been looking as good as they were in the beginning of the season or maybe even the middle of the season, I just, like we talked about earlier, I don't like the way Baker's playing, and he's probably going to play. The Ravens have a pretty good run defense, so Chubb might have a good game, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Even though Kareem Hunt is supposed to come back, I still like the Ravens in this one. Lamar Jackson's going off this week.
Agreed. I'm going to go with the Ravens. Like Dylan said, I just don't have a lot of faith in the Browns right now, especially with how Baker's been playing. And the Ravens have found success this season, even with their wide receiver one out or on limited play. So I have a lot of faith that they're going to find ways to get it done. I'm okay with Giants. But yeah, Rashad Bateman, I've liked him. He's had some pretty good games so far this season when he has been in. And Sammy Watkins isn't a nobody receiver. He has his moments, and they're going to get it done on the ground with Lamar Jackson. I have a lot of faith in them, and that's why I'm going with them this week.
Game is in Baltimore, I think, with a terrible Browns that we've seen and a decent Ravens team. This will be a pretty good shootout. I think Browns will have a chip on their shoulder, but I think the Ravens, given their home field advantage, do better. Give me the Ravens. Monday night game. This is a good one. Seahawks versus the football team. The football team is 2-0 since coming off the bye week. Scored over 25 points in the last 2 games. Russell Wilson, on the other hand, has 0 touchdowns since returning from injury and is averaging only 184 passing yards a game. Injuries to the Seahawks, Chris Carson will be out. And to the football team, Logan Thomas is going to come back. Curtis Samuel is questionable. Montez Sweat is out.
I never thought I'd say this, but I'm taking the football team. I'm taking the football team over the Seahawks. Russell Wilson just hasn't looked good lately. He's in that second half Russell Wilson form. Again, not Chris Carson being out for the year is detrimental to the Seahawks offense. I think he's such an underrated part. They just don't have a run game, and the football team doesn't have a terrible secondary. I think DK is still going to have a good game. But my thing is the football team, those 2 wins, their offenses looked so much better since the bye week. And they're going to be at home. So I have confidence that the football team's going to take this one.
This one's close, but the football team, I think, just has a lot of key injuries that are going to weigh more than the Seahawks. And so for that reason, I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I think their passing game is going to be enough to get it done, hopefully, because I want to win again. That felt good. And that's why I'm going with the Seahawks this week.
Okay.
I do not trust the Seahawks. I don't think they're a good team. Give me the Washington football team, the team without a name.
Okay. But that is all of our game picks this week. Hopefully Justin does not win again this week because it felt very weird, and I am a little bit worried about what our punishment is going to be. Justin, you were kind of researching during our game picks. It's quite unusual. Okay.
Cruel,
but you have it. Oh,
I think so. I need to workshop it, but okay. I can give you the rough draft right now. What I'm thinking is,
let's hear it.
Once you get back to Grove City, you and Ryan in one sitting have to sit down and eat an entire 5-pound gummy bear.
Oh no! Where are you gonna find a 5-pound gummy bear?
Amazon.
Oh man!
Have you?
No.
Okay.
Or gummy worm.
Oh no! Make them eat the gummy worms from different sides and meet in the middle.
Bro, okay, listen. You know how much 5 pounds is? 5 pounds. That's so much. After that, I'm gonna send you a video of someone eating a 5-pound gummy bear that does eating challenges, and they got to the head and puked for a good half an hour. Okay, even with Ryan's ability to chow down,
smokes.
Even with Ryan's ability to chow down, I just don't. We're not making it past this challenge. Okay, we also still have to do your 1-chip challenge. And Thomas, when you and
I'm not. There's no way I'm doing the one. Dude, the one chip has like death warnings on it.
Okay, but
you're gonna make you temporarily blind.
Gummy bear. You're gonna make us eat a 5-pound gummy bear.
I told you I'd workshop it if needed. Dude, this has medical warnings all over it.
Oh, the gummy bear is not much better.
The gummy bear won't make you die.
He'll give you diabetes. You'll die when you're older.
Ryan will die if because you know he'll eat 4 pounds of that.
Dude, there's a little dab of the fucking dust on here, and I licked it. And I sweat profusely for 20 minutes.
You know what? How about that? How about we actually do the challenge where you just lick it. All you have to
You
do
want
is
me to-
lick it.
That's
You
not
just
bad.
lick it.
Oh, it is bad, but that's much more comparable than eating the entire chip.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
Give it a little lick.
You guys, fuck. If Ryan was around, I'd say you guys have to do it with me. We all have to lick a corner
Oh.
of the chip.
And after Dylan's done with the gummy bear, we have to do the 100 push-up challenge.
Yes, 100 push-ups immediately after eating the gummy bear. No, okay. I will think on the gummy bear and see if I can find something else. I just thought it was
no,
fun.
I like the idea though. If you could find like a pound or 3 pounds.
Feasibly, it may not be realistic.
Maybe just like a packet of gummy bears or something like that.
I
If you
do
eat,
want to
100,
still I
200
do want
gummy
to still
bears.
send you a video though of someone eating a 5-pound gummy bear. It is pretty painful to watch because he said he could do it in an hour and then 10 minutes
There is a
in-
1 pound gummy bear for $18.50.
Okay, we could do that. I
like
would be
1
more
pound
than
is
willing
pretty-
to
make
do
that happen?
That's fine. We can
Yeah.
make that happen. So
There's 3 1 pound gummy bears for $12. You guys each
three
get
Oh.
1 pound. Wait, what? 3 pound?
Wow.
3 1-pound gummy bears for $1?
No, $13.
Oh no, they come in a pack. It's a pack of gummy bears. I'm done.
Fucking idiot. Okay.
They said 1 pound and there's 3 in the picture, but
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess Ryan and I are gonna have to eat gummy bears this week. That's gonna be interesting. But we will catch up on the challenges definitely next week when we're all kind of back at school. When we're all there. But guys, do you have anything to say before we sign off today?
Titans are overrated.
Okay.
Wait, what's overrated?
Titans.
Oh, the Titans are overrated. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
Zach Wilson sucks.
as per usual. And then we have Stat Boys per usual. It's
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Okay. I'm gonna say fuck you guys for both picking the Bengals. And that bye Baker. You're out of Cleveland. You're going.
Yeah.
You're gone. All right, boys and girls, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe. I also, just to keep a heads up, the Jets have 2 wins. If they get to 4, I will do a Zach Wilson jersey giveaway. Okay. I did say that on Next on Deck, but I will still make it happen on Chaingang if it happens. So they're halfway there, but their time is starting to slow down. And so I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll see y'all next week.